Hello, Moist Charlie Clips fam. So, as promised, I want to do a little debriefing on One Piece. As many of you know, I've been actively chipping away at One Piece for like 2 years now, maybe a little longer than 2 years, because I really wanted to get into the hype. I wanted to feel what One Piece fans feel, where it's talked about as one of the best pieces of fiction ever written in the history of our species. And I'd never really gotten into it. So, about 2 years ago, I made the decision to take the plunge. I was going to cannonball into the pool and just let it ride. And man, what a laborious, slow journey it has been. So, we're just going to go through the full thing. I just finished the Skypiea arc, so I'm just going to cover all of my feelings up till this point. Now, I knew this show was going to be a bit of a slow burn, which I'm completely fine with. In fact, there's a lot of slow burn anime that I enjoy. I don't need just fucking nuts to butts action, like beautiful, animation on every fight or anything like that. But what I didn't expect with One Piece is just how long it takes for characters to become interesting. Now that I'm 200 episodes in, characters that were introduced in the very beginning are just now starting to grow on me and become what I feel is a more fleshed out, more three-dimensional character as opposed to just 2D tropey shit. Like, example, Sanji. Sanji's just like girl crazy, always fucking hearts in his eyes, auga, auga, like for the entire duration of his character arcs through Skypiea. Now, post Skypiea, or getting to post Skypiea, I feel very differently about him now. I feel like he's going in a different direction that is more interesting. Zoro is a character that I liked from the beginning and I like more now. But he very much is just like stoic, beat ass, eat ass kind of cool shonen character. He hasn't had like a ton of depth carved out for him as of this moment, but he's just a cool character. Luffy, on the other hand, has not changed one fucking bit, and I find a lot of his character traits extremely grating. In Skypiea, I could not stress how much of a headache it was every time they went to Luffy in the belly of the fucking snake. He spent like 40 episodes in the snake's belly going, "This is a weird cave. This is a weird cave. Such a weird cave. Gum Gum Gatling on the cave walls. I'm gonna bust out." For 40 fucking episodes until other members, Nami and them get in there and like lead him out. It's just, Luffy's character I am still not fully sold on. I don't really enjoy Luffy. He's like my least favorite character of the Straw Hat crew. He is just in this perpetual daze, like a trance of stupid juice running through his veins. He's always just meat, 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 can't wait to eat meat, and then just always fucking dumb. He's only ever serious at the very end of a fight or at the very beginning of a fight, and it usually only lasts for like 15, 20 seconds so far. I get that he's that way intentionally, but that doesn't mean that I like that aspect of him. Like, it's fine to have goofiness for your main character, but he shouldn't be perpetually goofy all of the time, and so far he has been. Even in extremely serious circumstances, just the constant stupidity and like unrelenting silliness of him is just becoming so tiresome. And I'm hoping that at some point they ease off the gas on that aspect of his character. But I do want to make it clear, overall, I am enjoying the show more now. Alabasta arc was really good. Skypiea, not so much. Everything in Skypiea I thought was extremely underwhelming and a step back from Alabasta, except for its villain. Inaru is really cool, and I love how they played off of Luffy being the rubber man and Inaru being obviously all lightning based, and how it just doesn't work on Luffy because he's the fucking rubber man and rubber doesn't exist up there in Skypiea. So that was a really cool thing. And then also playing around with Inaru's mantra where he's able to like predict your moves, like read your moves in the future. Like Luffy combats this by basically just slapping around his ship and hitting him with ricochet blows so that way Luffy's not thinking about anything so Inaru can't read his mind, which I thought was very creative and cool. There were good moments of Skypiea, and I really like everything towards the end with the Inaru fight. But overall, it was a slog to get through. It took me close to 6 months to finish Skypiea because I just kept falling asleep since it was such a snooze fest for so much of it. The priests were trash. All of the priest moments were absolutely awful. Uh, so that was a good chunk of it. But then also just a lot of the stuff about Skypiea, while I thought conceptually was cool, was executed really underwhelmingly. Now I understand most people say the manga is a lot better pacing than the anime, and I bet you're probably right, but I've already committed to the anime as my main form of digesting this story. And like I said, I am enjoying it more now than I did. So I'm hoping that it's really only up from here. I want to give my full thoughts on everything, like I said, so let me dial back the clock a little bit here. A lot of people said Arlong Park is like one of the best arcs in One Piece. I fucking hated Arlong. I couldn't stand anything about that. I think Arlong was a pretty cool villain, but the second that it actually came down to like the payoff where Luffy's challenging Arlong, it was absolutely fucking awful. Like I thought it was such a wet fart of a conclusion. They hype up Arlong. You get a lot of information about Nami, which I appreciated. Nami actually had a lot of depth given to her very early on, so she, for a little while, was probably one of my favorite characters just because I knew the most about her and that she had a good sympathetic story. But Arlong, this whole arc, was spent like hyping up just how fearsome he is, the fishman as well. But then it boils down to Luffy ending it in like a single axe kick. And the axe kick was like cool, like it looked cool, but having it all end in one blow is not satisfying at all. And it really kind of just pisses on the whole journey getting to that point, in my opinion. You need to have like a satisfying conclusion to a character like that. And it brings me to my next complaint, that no bad guys die. Like even from the very beginning, Don Krieg. They hype up Don Krieg. He was kind of shit, obviously, but I mean, it was early on. I understand it's going to be difficult to make a cool villain. In fact, Mihawk was the coolest part of this entire section. Mihawk coming in during the Don Krieg moments. But Don Krieg gets defeated and carried away. You know, like they fucking hoist him up like Rudy after the Notre Dame win. You know, like they hoist him out, they sail away, and he's fine. Like he lives. But he never comes back into the story. And I got curious, so I looked up if he ever comes back, and from as I understand it, he doesn't. But he's still alive. So if he's still alive but doesn't come back, why not just kill him? It's a lot more sensical in the universe, especially for a situation like they were in, if you would just kill that big bad. It's not like they drive home this idea that like killing is this ultimate evil thing. You know, Luffy's not fucking Batman, right? Like Luffy understands the danger with fighting and all of it. So I really think it would have made more sense to be killing these, they're not major villains, but they were for their time, like in their arc, these bad guys. Kudo, another example. Kudo was hyped up. This introduced Usopp. Like this was a big moment. I'm still not the biggest Usopp enthusiast or anything. Like Usopp's still pretty fucking annoying, but he's having more moments now where I appreciate some of his character. But I'm getting sidetracked. Kudo was the big bad of that time, and once again gets defeated relatively easily. Like there was never really feeling like any big stakes there or any real challenge. Gets defeated but not killed. So he's still alive, sails off, you know, he's gone but alive. Why? I just feel like it makes more sense to be killing those characters. There's only a couple instances so far where they like have a villain that they defeat, you know, like a Pokemon battle, like, oh, the enemy fainted, where I feel like it makes sense that happened. And that's like, when that's the case, I get it. But those are just rare exceptions. And it's also not just bad guys. It seems like there's a big apprehension to killing any characters at all, no matter if they're good, bad, or if they're major or minor. Another example of this is during the Alabasta arc, which I do like a lot. They have a character named Pell. And at one point, Pell carries like a goddamn nuclear bomb away in order to save everyone. It's a very noble sacrifice moment. He picks up the bomb and he's flying up into the goddamn stratosphere like an actual hero, a patriot, you know, like that scene from the Iron Giant. I'm Superman. Pell carries this bomb up there, it blows up, and you're under the impression Pell has sacrificed himself for everyone, and it's a really powerful moment. But it turns out Pell's alive. Somehow. Just because. He's just alive. Why? You have this incredible character moment, you have all of this like great setup for this moment. This would conclude everything that Pell has been set up for, and you have the bomb, it blows up. He should have died, but he doesn't, for no reason, and he's not even a major character. Pell was, by all definitions, a minor side character, but they couldn't even kill him. They couldn't pull the trigger on something like that, which would have been better. Like, up until now, I don't think there has been a single character death, good or bad, in anything outside of flashbacks. All character deaths that we have been made aware of so far have all been in flashbacks, or just completely nameless henchmen that caught some strays. Like, other than that, I don't think there have been any, like, noteworthy deaths at all, in general. Which I just think is so silly. Like, I don't understand exactly why. Now, I know that does change in the future. Tiana watched all of One Piece. I know a lot of where this story goes and like character deaths. So I'm looking forward to when we start getting to that point where characters do die, because I think that improves the overall stakes in the narrative. Because if you're going into these episodes, like I am, knowing that, oh, this guy's probably not going to die because no one else has so far, then there's really no stakes. Also, I take it back, there has been one death that I can think of off the top of my head right now, and that was the chunky priest in Skypiea, the Ordeal of Spheres, the ball guy, the ball juggler. He is dead, and the only reason we know he's dead is because his brothers were like, "You killed him," and that's the confirmation. Never mind, scratch that. I decided to look it up. He's not actually dead, I see. I must not have got to the episode where they sentence him and the other priest to their cloud drifting prison sentence. So, no one that I can think of in this show so far has died outside of flashbacks. But yeah, anyway, that's just another thing that I feel like is just a little lacking, is stakes, because no characters are actually dying or anything, so everything's kind of got like a happy ending and happy resolution right now. But yeah, overall, it's not like I hate the show. I really didn't like it and really had to force myself to keep watching it early on, but now I am enjoying it a lot more, and I'm hoping that it only continues to get better. Also, shoutouts to Chopper, because I also really like Chopper. I forgot to mention that. Chopper's whole story I thought was also pretty good, and he is still, like, he gets very tropey. Like, he started off with a lot of depth to him, and now he's kind of fallen into more of a two-dimensional comic relief character, which I think is a little weird, but I'm sure that it's just setting him up for like big moments coming forward. But yeah, anyway, that's kind of where I'm at One Piece. Just finished Skypiea. I don't remember what the next arc I'm going into is, but I'll keep you all posted here on Moist Charlie Clips. So yeah.